All right, hi 4-Hers. I'm back today with the very first installment of our kind of online photography workshop. And the first thing that we're going to talk about today is camera functions and composition, or how to set up your picture. And so I have a few different cameras here. This is just a small camera. I know that as I've kind of judged the 4-H projects for the last, long time there in Pike County, that I do have a lot of 4-Hers that use this point and shoot camera. And these are really great because they have some pre-made settings for you. So there's usually like a little flower that you can pick if you want to take some photos with blurry backgrounds. Sometimes there's like, looks like a running man that you would choose if you were trying to take action photography. So these are pretty great cameras. I also have here an iPhone. I know a lot of you guys don't have, sorry, my hair's in my face, don't have cameras, but you have camera phones, and they are making the cameras in these so much better. Every time they release a new phone, the camera gets better and better. So you actually can take some pretty cool pictures with an iPhone, and so we'll look at that too. And then I also have out here the big camera, and this kind of camera is called a DSLR, and this is leans a little more towards a professional camera, but they have these in all kinds of variations, from like basic to obviously the super professional ones. I think the very first camera that I got that I used when I was doing pictures was a Canon Rebel, and I think that was like the first edition of Canon Rebel, and I think they're on like a T7 or T7i now. I don't know. But those are really great cameras too. They're great kind of basic cameras. You can even find some of those older models on like eBay if you're looking for a DSLR, but you don't want to pay the price because they can get kind of expensive. So what these cameras do that the point and shoot cameras don't is it allows you to manually change your settings. So I would manually set things like my ISO and my aperture myself to like compose the best camera. Now that might be obviously a little farther than some of you guys are ready for, so unless we're going to kind of talk about all of it. So after talking about camera basics, the next thing we're going to talk about is how to compose your pictures. And there is something basic, and I talked to a lot of you guys about this during 4-H judging, that is super important for photo composition, and it's called the rule of thirds. And so I'm just gonna explain that to you really quickly. So what the rule of thirds means is that whenever you are looking at a picture, research has shown that our eyes are drawn to specific areas of an image, okay? And so what it is if you're looking in your camera and you see the box, in your viewfinder, that you want to line up your picture in two ways. We have our rule of thirds that goes horizontally. So you can have your, I'll draw stick people here. Maybe the head of your person on the top third, or maybe it's a far away picture and you have the head of your person at the middle third. This one would be kind of hard. I think I picked a really bad example of a person. Or you can have a person way in the back in the bottom third, okay? So this is kind of the rule of thirds when you're going horizontally. Now, we also have the rule of thirds vertically. This is my favorite one. So you will often find photographers kind of offsetting their pictures. And what that means is that they're gonna line up their person on the side of the view instead of right in the center every time, okay? And again, this is just from research that our eyes naturally want to kind of travel instead of just always being at the center of the camera. So I might take a picture of a flower around a bush, and the flower is actually going to be over here, and then this will be all grass, okay? So that's something we're going to talk about. One of the other things that I had to kind of understand or come to terms with when I first started taking pictures was that I don't need a huge area in order to take a neat picture. Sometimes we only need a very small area or situation or pocket of cool stuff in order to take a picture. It doesn't have to be, 5 feet wide or 10 feet tall or 100 feet away. So we're gonna take a couple of pictures now and kind of see what happens, all right? Alright guys, so I am just in my backyard here. We had to dump out some rock the other day. We have some extra. For some reason my husband dumped it here. But this little patch of rock is probably not even a foot square. And I'm just going to show you how you can kind of get a picture in something as small as this. So I have with me a purple rock that one of my kids got like on vacation at one of the stores where you can like get a little bag of fun colored rocks. And I'm just gonna lay this down in those pebbles. And you can see there's a really good contrast of color because none of these are purple toned. And then I'm going to use my rule of thirds and I'm gonna set this picture up so that the rock is on the right side of my camera. Okay, I'm gonna do the same thing. I took one already, but I'll take another one with my iPhone camera. So I'm gonna get in really close. I'm gonna set up that rock in the middle right third of the screen. Oops, it turned. It'll turn again probably. So you can see that that's actually kind of a cool picture. And I know that, I don't remember which level of photography that you take that you can do some editing, but I know I see a lot of kids who have a black and white picture with just a little bit of color. That would be a great picture for that. You can make the pebbles black and white and you could leave the purple rock purple. Okay, let's move on to something else. All right guys, we're gonna look at another idea for composition. And so I still am in my backyard. I have this cute little kind of decoration. It's made out of spoons and they've been painted. But we're gonna use that for my next setup. So I'm gonna make sure it's turned where I have a little bit of the greenery behind it. But I'm gonna set this one up on the left side. Let's do left upper side of the shot. All right, so you can see I did not set that up in the center of the picture. It is definitely on the rule of thirds. We're on the left third of my screen and then the top third of my screen. All right, we hope that you understand a little bit more about composition. Tune in next time where we talk about blurring out our backgrounds, which is always fun.